He's not here,
Randy.
but I'd do a couple of.
Oh, J Wheels, you want to do one? Okay, let's
Yeah, I
go.
don't care.
All right, let's bring up J Wheels. J Wheels, the stage is yours.
I'm sorry, I wasn't planning on doing stand up tonight, but why not actually inspired me. Um, I try to stay fairly quiet about what goes on in my second life when I'm not here. You guys were commenting on my suits. I can't take credit for my clothes. All of the clothes and the avatar, all of that happened from different women that were trying to make me better.
Ah.
I,
Well, you'd be surprised. That's
Sweet.
not the case for me.
I mean, well, dude, seriously? I mean, look at your outfit. You're scared, man. You scare little kids. Like, look at them, they're like, oh, let's not go there. Thank you very much. My thing is, it's the chair. I have the real life picture in my profile, and people see the chair and they're like, "Oh, he's so cute and he's so nice." And you know, they spend like 2 weeks with me, and they think it's gonna be a lot of fun to be with a comedian. And I always love what happens is they spend a couple weeks with me and they go, "Man, you're really a smartass," and I'm like, "Yeah, what do you expect?"
To discover
That's my job. It's kind of built in. I mean, like it's what I do. But they always do. They try to make me look better, and I think I have Thinkerer to say thank you for that, because we've been working together for so many years. Lots of people see us together, especially at shows. We're always sitting together, and the women, they all look at me, and I want to make they say, I want to make sure that you don't look like your boss. Okay, so we're gonna do better than that. Like that guy, like that avatar is from like 2005, and I'm like, yeah, he's old. He's stuck in his ways. What can I say? But that's actually why I look as good as I do. I have to admit that there are some things with me and women that are different. I'm actually seeing a girl right now, and I've been seeing her for a while. It's been about 4 months, so we're past the honeymoon stage. You know, we're getting into the real meat of the relationship. And that's exactly like that response right there. I can't believe a woman just had that response. Like, if a man had that response, he'd get thrown out of a building. But we're into the meat of the relationship. And she looks at me and she goes, "You know what? The one benefit to being with you is when I get tired of you, I can just put a boot on your chair and you can't actually go anywhere." And I thought, you know what? That's not a good thing. I actually don't know how our relationship is gonna work, because I have cerebral palsy and she's legally blind. I think we could actually make some money with lawyers being an accident waiting to happen. And the funny thing is, here's what I love. She actually drives. Okay, so I it kind of explains why when you go and park somewhere, you know, they have the signs, and there's always braille on the valet parking signs. She's why. Okay, that's why. I mean, because you wouldn't think that blind people drive, but they actually do.
Oh, great.
No, I've been on the highway. I've noticed it a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Well,
You would notice it because you're the blind one. That's great. Tinker's driving.
And see, that's the thing. I don't know if being blind and driving is that much worse than just being an idiot and driving. Like, I mean, that seems to be the problem with the people on the road at this point, is they're just stupid. Like, and what's worse is, like, somebody's always asking me if I've got a license for the chair. Like, that's one of the jokes that people come up with. It like, hey, you got a license to drive that? Some of these people, I just want to look at you. I just want to look at them and be like, I don't know if I've got a license to drive this. You have a license to drive your car? Because I've seen you drive, and it's fairly awful. So I you know, I don't know how that works, but I think the key to my success is obviously I must have some kind of charm, okay? And the charm must get me a long way with the girls. The problem that they run into is that when they meet me and they realize that I actually am bound to a chair, they're like, oh man, I thought you were just using that chair to get a girl. That was actually real. Like, they're a little shocked when they figure out that, you know, I can't dress myself. I'm like, no, you actually have to help me put my shirt on. And they're like, wow, I didn't realize I was getting involved with a life-size Barbie doll. Then there's these scary women that are actually way into that. Like, there are these scary women that actually get involved with crippled people just because they want to help them. Like, they call them devotees, right? And I'm not actually really scared of them. Like, I'm actually trolling the forums on the internet trying to find one, because if somebody actually wants to, you know, devote their life to me and make it so that I don't have to do anything, I think that's pretty much every male's dream. Okay,
Give me your
Female
number.
too.
Yeah, absolutely. My question is, I guess that if I actually got one of these people, I would actually have to really work to be that lazy, because if they figured out I could do anything at all, I think it would all stop. And so I think what really needs to happen is I need to figure out how to just make myself completely useless. And I think I've figured it out. I think if I would just spend about 15 hours a day on Second Life, then I won't have to do anything. Like,
You're there.
Some of you people really freak me out. Like we were talking about money earlier. And I made the crack that if I had all the money in the world, I wouldn't be here. And Catboy says, "Oh yeah, I'd still be here." And I'm like, "Dude, really? You got all the money in the world? I don't care how much of a loser you are. You could buy a girl."
Well, I'll buy a girl. She'll just bring me sandwiches while I'm on Second Life.
I mean, seriously, there are some people that spend entirely too much time here. I love the people, and I know people like this. Like, I've been talking to people that you don't really know whether they're talking about Second Life or whether they're talking about reality.
Yes.
They're like, yeah, I'm really pumped, man. I got a new job, and I'm like, really? That's awesome. How much are you making? And they're like 250 lindens an hour. Seriously? That's not a job, man. They're excited about it. They're like, yeah, I just worked 4 hours and I made 1,000 lindens. I'm like, can you not do math? It's like $4. $4. And you're all laughing because you met these people. I know
Yep.
you've met them. I know you have. And what I want to know, here's what I want to know. We were talking about clothes and stuff earlier. Here's what I want to know. If you get a job as a hostess or whatever it is for, 250 lindens an hour, but you have to provide your own clothes, do you actually make anything, or does all of your stuff go into buying clothes for your job?
That's
And
it. You just figured it out.
If that's the case, can you claim the clothes on your taxes as a work expense? I don't know. And so it freaks me out. I don't understand. What really scares me, are when, because we do a lot with music. Thinker and I do a lot with music. And occasionally I will come across a musician that will say that they will play for tips. And the musicians that play for tips in Second Life scare me, because if a musician tells you that they will play for tips in Second Life, you know what that means? That means they're really, really bad. That means they shouldn't be playing music anywhere, not even in Second Life. And they exist. They'll get up and they'll do an hour for tips, and people will show up and listen. I'm like, folks, do you not have a radio that's got a better sound than this? Are you kidding me? And they're like, it's live music. And I'm like, no, it's not. I can go to any bar in the world and get this. This is not live music. But it I think people get deluded in Second Life. I think they get lost. Like I've actually been deluded in Second Life. I actually had the thought that if I looked this good in Second Life, maybe it would translate into getting me a real life girl. But what happens is, you meet a girl in real life and you show her the fact that you've got an avatar with a suit like this, and she goes, "You need to go outside." Like it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And if you meet a girl in Second Life that really, really likes your suit, you know one thing about her: she needs to go outside. Like, you gotta wonder what's going on there. I have to ask, why not? I've watched you for a couple of weeks. You've been doing stand up here for a couple of weeks, and I love what you do, because it's all about real life, and you talk about the different people and the different things that you've dealt with in your life. I just have one question for you.
Spit it out.
One very simple question I have for you. You taught school for how many years?
37, and I'm still free tutoring too.
Okay, you taught school for 37 years. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but I can hear it in her voice. Why not was that teacher that we always had in school that we were all scared to death of. You know, like
That's a
there
practice.
are certain teachers that you can kind of roll over. No, that one right there, that is a no bullshit teacher right there.
She's taught me a couple of things.
Like, tell me I'm wrong. Why not? Tell me I'm wrong. Am I wrong?
Sounds
My
like he's
kids
right.
respected me, but they loved me, and I showed them a lot of love. So it was all hugs. It was all hugs.
Well,
Still is.
see, I love the fact that she says it was all about love because I've met some of these kids, and some of these kids are a freaking nightmare. So my question to you is, how many drugs did you have to take before you actually got to work in the morning to get through the day?
Oh
That's what I
God,
want to know.
poor
And
child.
we did them at night to go to sleep and not have nightmares.
You have to sleep that off. There's a drug test in the morning.
She is absolutely honest. I've had fun watching her the last couple of weeks, and I think Gio is recording this. If you have not seen Why Not, you just saw a little bit of her. She's been here the last 3 weeks. She's really good at what she does.
Yes, she is. Yes, she
if
is.
you haven't seen her more than just this one time, you definitely need to come out over here and come see her here at Lawrence. We have great comedians here. I'm thankful very much for Catboy, who's willing to stand up on the stage for at least 45 minutes and MC this thing so I don't have to. Because I'm lazy and I don't want to do it anymore. I used to do it, and I'll tell you right now, an hour is a long time to be on stage. So I'm thankful for Catboy and everybody else that works here.
Well, you're
guys do a
welcome.
great job. I hope you enjoy the show tonight. I think we've got one more comedian. I'm going to give
Yes,
the
we do.
stage back to Catboy. My name is Jamie Jordan, and you guys have a great night.
All right. Yay.
Yay!
Jamie. Yay.
Hey, Jamie.